What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's Rachel here, back again with another amazing video from Makers Gonna Learn, your ultimate die cutting community. Today we're going to be talking all things mug press, everything you need to know, everything we think you should know. I can't wait to share with you some pretty fun facts and little tips and tricks to help you get a lot of success with your mug press and maybe help you save money down the line. Thanks so much for watching, and without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Today we're going to be answering some questions, giving you guys some tips, and maybe sharing with you guys some blanks and hacks that you didn't already know about this. If you're looking for a how-to video on the in-depth process of using the mug press, I will leave a link down below for that video that Miss Becca did. It is a great in-depth video if you are a beginner or just want to see exactly how this thing works in action. We're going to talk about prices, size, capacity for the mug press, blanks you can use, answering your questions, and more. So let's start off by talking about the mug press itself. Again, if you want to see it in action or a how-to video, watch that one that I'll link in the description for you guys. But I want to share some fun facts that you might not know if you do not already have one and you're looking to get one. It does not have any kind of heat reader on it for us. We can't change the temperature on it. We can't set a timer on it. It is supposed to be that smart, which is awesome. So what happens is you plug it in, you turn it on, and the mug press itself will sense the air and the degree of the air and how hot it is and heat itself up, preheat itself to the perfect temperature. Then what you do is you slide your mug in, you close this little paddle here, and it already detects how long it's going to take to heat up your mug. Now, heat times differ depending on your blank, the size of it, the temperature in the air, all kinds of things. You'll see a sequence of these little lights that are kind of like the indication lights that tell you how much time is left in the heating time. So that is a really fun thing to note. It doesn't take up that much room, but it does have some restrictions with size, so we're going to go over those. There are three things that you need to remember. Number one, it can hold an 11 to a 16 ounce mug. Now there are some other size restrictions I'll let you know about, but for actual capacity in ounces, 11 to 16 is right where you want to be. Number two, the diameter of the mug can be between 3.2 and 3.4 inches. And number three, there is a maximum height of your mug, and that is 4.72 inches. Feel free to rewind what I just said and write it down, jot it down on some notes, because if you want to hop over to Amazon and see what blanks you can find within those dimensions, you'll want to have those handy. One thing I could not wait to share with you guys today was about Infusible ink. So on Cricut's website, they have a lot of different Infusible ink that are supposed to be marketed for different things, whether that be just regular Infusible ink for the mug or for your Joy, your Cricut Joy if you happen to have that machine. They have different packages for all of those, and I want to let you guys know the differences, the prices, and how we like them. So I can't wait to dive into that. Let's start out with the regular Infusible ink. So they have a ton of different colors and patterns, and this is exactly how it comes. So this is one pack of Infusible ink. In one pack comes 2 sheets of 12 by 12. So you'll get 12 by 24 essentially of this Infusible ink. This is $12.99, and honestly, that's a pretty good price. We really like that. There's 2 sheets in this. It can go a long way, so we do appreciate the larger packs of Infusible ink. Now, this can work with your Joy. This can work with your, of course, Maker, with your Explorer 2. This can work with your heat press, with your mug press. It can work with everything. Don't think that just because it doesn't have like the little coffee cup on it, or because it doesn't say Joy, that it cannot be used for those things. Next, and most excitingly, I wanted to talk about the differences between the Cricut Joy transfers and then the Cricut Infusible ink transfers that have like that little Cricut Mug Press emblem on it. It says ideal for Cricut Mug Press. So in these 2 little boxes comes 2 sheets of the exact same dimensions of Infusible ink. It is 4.5 by 12. You get 2 sheets of that, and this is $6.99 for the recommended for the heat press, for the mug press, and then this, which is recommended for the Joy, is $7.99. Now the only reason why there is a dollar difference here is because the one for the Joy also has here it is, a couple of rolls of little butcher's paper, as well as this little cloth. Now, again, I'm not sure why they feel the need to market it differently or price them differently. I guess because it has that little cloth and butcher's paper in it for the Cricut Joy ones, but the ones for the Joy and the ones that are recommended for the Mug Press are identical in size and things like that. So that is definitely something to think about, something that I don't think that you all might know. We actually didn't know it at the beginning. Tanner went out when the Mug Press first launched, and he went to some craft stores and bought a lot of Infusible ink, and lo and behold, he came back and said, oh no, I accidentally bought Cricut Joy Infusible ink. And we're like, oh, it's fine, we'll be able to use it for something. Well, after doing a little bit of research, it's no different, not even a little bit. So really, guys, with all that being said, I would just recommend getting the 2 large sheets, because you can get 12 by 24 of this for $12.99 and use it way more than you could these pre-cut sheets. I will go ahead and mention, because this is kind of like an everything you need to know video, sorry to get TMI for everybody, but if you personally have clammy hands or anything like that, personally, I have very clammy hands, and just to be completely transparent with you guys, I have a really hard time working with Infusible ink because of that. I just really struggle with it. They say you're supposed to not handle it very much. Becca and Courtney can handle it like it's nobody's business. They can lay it on the mat just fine. But when me and Tanner come in here with our clammy hands, we cannot really touch Infusible ink. It just doesn't go well for us. So one tip I would like to give you guys is, if you have super clammy hands, it is easier to work with smaller sheets. So if you want to get this and cut it up, you can before you have to place it on your mat. We always use a brayer to bray it on the mat and smooth it out after we place it down with our hands. We try and only touch the very edges with our thumbs, and guys, ink always transfers onto my hands and off of the Infusible ink sheets. It always leaves fingerprints, and I always get so sad and upset about it. So a solution that I found was cotton gloves. I know you guys are gonna laugh, but listen, they really do work. I got them off Amazon. I will link them down below for you, and if you struggle with that and you think that maybe Infusible ink isn't good for you, they really are a game changer. You only need it when you are placing it down, and maybe even when you're weeding, just because maybe if you like to weed on the mat like I always do, I like to press my hand, you know, around the design to be able to really have good control on it, and you don't want any type of oil from your hands or sweat or anything like that to be touching that ink. So if you have those cotton gloves, it just kind of protects everything. So if that is a problem that you have, or maybe you just want to be extra careful, you can get cotton gloves and take a little bit extra precaution, and it really does work. So if that is a problem for you, then we love to give you guys little tips and solutions like that. So one of your questions we have already answered. One of your major questions was, can it work with more than one size mug? And yes, it can. Remember those little dimensions that I gave you? It can have an 11 to 16 ounce capacity. The diameter, excuse me, can be between 3.2 and 3.4 inches, and the height can be no more than 4.72 inches. With that being said, there are a lot of different sizes of mugs that you can put in your mug press. Now, there are some limitations that you guys might not be thinking about, and that is whenever you choose to buy blanks elsewhere. Another one of your major questions was, next to size, was brand. Can I use different brand blanks? And the short answer is yes, you can. Now, we did a video. I don't know if it's going to be coming out after this one or if it's already out, so I won't be super specific about that, but we did film a video yesterday all about comparing blanks for the mug press. If it's already out, I'm going to link it below for you guys, and if it's not, I will link it below in this video as soon as it does come out. I can't wait to be able to share that with you guys. It's a super insightful video to kind of help you learn and give you guys some tips and tricks on if you want to spend your money on other brand blanks. We break down prices. I tested, I think it was like 7 mugs for you guys to just let you see and enjoy the results that we got, and then give you guys some guidance on what and what not to buy. But again, the short answer is yes, you can use different types of blanks. We got a couple off of Amazon that I have here. We have a little camping mug style blank that we actually do not recommend. We have a plain, a plain blank that most mimics the regular Cricut blank mug. And then we have a Tervis style mug that is metal and has a little lid on it that's super good quality, but it was pretty darn expensive. And also there was some struggles with this, which is why I only recommend like the opposite design for this. As you can see, the rest of the mugs on the table have the bulk of the color on the design, and then where the actual cut file or font is, was removed in the weeding process. In this one, we did the opposite. We weeded the bulk of the color and only left the wording with Infusible ink. And this is the only way we could find that these work, because the lip up at the top is tapered just a little bit and does not get a good seal with our mug press. Now, again, I'll let you guys watch that video, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler. Cricut brand mugs and their prices, you can't beat them. So if you are in the market for maybe some tester mugs, if you just are getting started and you just want to try some out and make sure that you have like the technique down pat, I would use their mugs and buy them in bulk, because you can get them as low as like $2 or something like that if you buy such a large pack. Now, it will be a chunk of change down, but per mug, it will be super cheap. So definitely go on the Cricut website and check those out. Again, I do mention in that video as well, it's probably just because since the mug press is on the rise, the supply and demand for the sublimation blanks skyrocketed, so the prices have gone up. The prices may go down in a few months, and if so, I might change my tune and say, since the Amazon mugs are now so much cheaper, get the Amazon mugs, because they do look just as good as the Cricut brand. It really just came down to price for me, and why spend more just trying to like avoid Cricut brand or something like that. So we love Cricut brand mugs. They work great with the mug press, of course, because they were created just for it, and the price, you just can't beat it. Another question we get very often about the mug press is, how does it compare to other presses for mugs? So specifically, you guys are asking about kind of like the 5-in-1 presses and things like that. So the ones that can do like shirts and plates and hats and mugs. So one thing I will say is it totally depends on where you are in your crafting journey right now. If you are someone who has a Cricut, has an EasyPress, maybe you have like the 9x9 or the 10x12, there's even a 6x7 and a mini. We love all the EasyPresses. We have them all. So I will say, if you have all of the EasyPresses, you have no need to get one of those big bulky heat presses that have like the 5-in-1, including the little mug clamp. If you already have all the EasyPresses, but you're looking for something specific to just mugs, don't stray from Cricut. If you're already, neck deep in Cricut, just go ahead and get the Cricut Mug Press, because it is $199.99, and again, they might run a sale later on, you never know. And usually those big bulky heat presses are, I would say, around that price, maybe a little bit more expensive for a really nice brand. And they're bigger and they're bulkier, and even though you can use them for so many different things, if you already have an EasyPress, you really don't need that at all, not at all. So that's my recommendation for you guys. If you are brand spanking new to the Cricut world, or maybe even just the sublimation world, the Infusible ink world, and you don't have any products at all, you don't have any machines or anything like this, and you're in the market for something, I would definitely look at reviews and see if you can find a heat press that is a 5-in-1 that you like, that you're ready to commit all that money to. The only thing that I worry about heat presses and even the mug press, I will be completely honest with you guys, is if you're already not passionate about mugs, why would you waste your money on this? I hate to say waste money, because a lot of people don't know what they're passionate about until they buy it. So I'm not saying that at all. I didn't know what a Cricut was. Once I did, I was hooked on Cricut. I loved it. But if you are crafty at all and you kind of have a niche and a rhythm of what you like to create, if mugs are not in that at all anywhere, I would not bother buying this, because this is $200, and then the blanks you would have to purchase, the Infusible ink you'd have to purchase. You would have a couple $100 in the startup cost easy for this. And if you're going to make 5 mugs a year, it's just not worth it, in my opinion. You can just put vinyl on a dollar mug from the dollar store, seal it, and call it a day, to be quite frank with you guys. However, for something so permanent as Infusible ink, and if you love Infusible ink and how it looks and how it performs, then you might want a mug press. You might think that this is the bee's knees, and that's amazing. We are very happy with our mug press. We are always testing the new products that come out from Cricut and in the crafting community because we want to give you guys honest feedback about these. So again, if you want one, definitely get one if you think you'll enjoy them. I think that you will too. They're easy to use, especially if you just use the basic blanks. You can get into some pretty complicated steps if you try to use different blanks with like extra taping, placing it upside down, holding this little paddle halfway into to be able to hold such a large mug. There's a lot of, I don't want to say crazy, but there's a lot of odd things that people are doing just to try and cram different types of mugs into this mug press. And while that is super fun, I just don't think that it's necessary. So again, there are size limitations for this. If you guys want to try out a ton of different sizes and types and styles of mugs, feel free to do so. Just try and do your best to stay in those size ratios that I mentioned earlier. Another one of your guys' burning questions is, can all of these Cricut Infusible ink blanks work with sublimation? Now, if you're brand new and you're wondering what sublimation is versus what Cricut Infusible ink is, so sublimation is when you use a printer and a special brand of printer and a special type of ink that is sublimation ink to print out a design that then can be transferred using heat, of course. So it's kind of like the same thing, except Cricut is kind of cutting down the steps. So we don't have to pick our design, we don't have to print our design. It's already printed, it's already picked, and it's in these sheets for us to be able to cut and apply. So it requires the same type of heat, and it also requires the same type of blanks. Now, sublimation blanks are not all created equal. There are some brands that are just bad, some blanks that just don't do very well, and then some that do exceptionally well, some that take the ink perfectly. As for fabric, you cannot really use Infusible ink on cotton. I would recommend no less than 65% polyester in a t-shirt when using Infusible ink or sublimation. Think of it this way as far as fabrics go. The more polyester, the deeper and more saturated the color of your ink will be. That goes for Infusible ink or sublimation. Now, for blanks like this, you cannot just go to Walmart and buy a mug and expect it to work with Infusible ink. While they are interchangeable with sublimation, meaning the Infusible ink mugs from the Cricut brand and the sublimation mugs from Amazon, they are interchangeable, but all of them, what they have in common is this special coating that's on the outside that is absolutely crucial to be able to absorb that ink. This question I have been eager to ask. You guys know I love making sure that things are sealed properly and dishwasher safe and will last a long time. And I am super delighted to tell you that Infusible ink is about as permanent as it gets. It is dishwasher safe. If the mugs are microwave safe, it's microwave safe. It can really withstand a lifetime. It doesn't really get any better than Infusible ink as far as durability and longevity if you want this product to last a long time. So we really do love that fact about it. Even though it's a couple more steps and things like that, we really like that it does last forever. Another thing I want to let you guys know about the mug press and about Infusible ink really is that you do need to take special precautions when creating projects with this material. Let's just say, for example, we have a Cricut mug. You do have to prep the mug really, really well before applying your Infusible ink. Since this is ink, you don't want any kind of oil from your fingers or dust or dirt to be on that mug to be harmful when trying to transfer that Infusible ink. So you do have to wipe it down. We even recommend taking a lint roller, lint rolling the mug and being super, super gentle with the Infusible ink. Now, once you have it on the mug, the name of the game is you want it as tight as possible. You want this Infusible ink super tight on that mug. This mug press is already going to squeeze that mug in and heat it whenever you place this paddle down, but we can already help it go an extra mile by taping it. We got tape from Amazon. You can buy this from Cricut as well, but this is a pack of 5 rolls from Amazon for, I think it was like $8.99. but it's a really, really good price for all of these different lengths and widths of tape. We like the thickest one the best just because, of course, it covers more surface area with less time, but we really do like that there are different lengths and widths of this depending on what you need or what you're doing. So just make sure that you do really get that infusible ink tight. That will definitely help your project. Now again, I'll mention it, we are not going to be making one of these today, so if you want to see how to make it, Miss Becca shares with you how exactly to position this on there, where to place the tape, how to use this, how to get started with it, and it's a great informative video if you're still on the fence and you want to learn a little bit more about it. When trying to choose blanks that aren't Cricut brand, again, we do mention in that video comparing all of these about this, but with things that might be a bit of an odder shape or size, like much like this one that was a bit more expensive but super nice, we actually had to reverse the design like I mentioned. And also, I'll mention, in my personal opinion, I like this style better. I like this style better than this blocky style that means you just use more of your infusible ink. I prefer this style, so really if you're shopping for blanks and let's say you have one fail or how maybe it's not saturated at the top or at the bottom, because this one tapers in a little bit, so it didn't have a good tight seal on the top, so there was actually a really ugly, maybe ½ an inch on the top of this when I tried to do infusible ink this way. So my solution to that, if you bought, let's say 5 blanks and you're like, oh no, I can't use it anymore, try and think of it in a different way. Where can you place the infusible ink that maybe it will heat well? So what we decided to do was reverse the design. So because this doesn't have a big old block of infusible ink on it, it actually adhered really, really well. So again, if you get blanks and you're testing them and they're just not working, instead of trying the same thing over and over, try something different. Try reversing the design, try something smaller, maybe something larger, maybe put it in your heat press upside down in your mug press. Just think of some creative things that you can do if you're testing blanks that you bought from Amazon that you really want to be able to work in your mug press. The last question I'm going to answer today is a really, really good one, and that is it worth the hype? That's what you guys want to know. You guys want to know, is this going to be worth my investment? Is this going to be worth my time that I put into it? Is this going to be worth sitting down and trying to master it? And the answer is, it depends on you. I know that that's not the answer you guys want to hear, but it's true. Some people just don't care about making mugs. Other people adore mugs. If you know me, I really like mugs. I actually collect mugs. So of course my kitchen is overflowing. I have some cabinets that really need to be cleaned out, but I love mugs. So personally, I could see myself making gifts, personalized gifts with mugs and infusible ink for years to come for my friends and family. I think it would be a great way to have a permanent, very professional looking project. However, there could be those of you out there that don't care about mugs, or maybe you don't like infusible ink. Maybe you're just not in the market for a new thing right now, and if so, that's fine. You could live without this very easily. Is it fun to use? Yes. Does it take a bit to get the hang of? Yes. But if you are wanting to try out some mugs in this and see how it goes and just try to enjoy crafting with this mug press, I would give it a try. I think you're really going to like it. It's a super nice, really sleek design. It's pretty user-friendly. The biggest thing that takes getting used to is applying the transfer onto the mug, honestly. Lining that up and taping it up well, that is probably the hardest part. The mug press does all of the heavy lifting, and then you do, of course, have a permanent design. So it's pretty nice. I hope that you all have enjoyed this informative video. I'm sorry if it was just, a long chit chat, but I hope that you guys were taking some notes and that you feel a little bit more confident now in your decision to purchase or maybe to use the new Cricut Mug Press. We love bringing you these types of videos because they're just kind of open and more laid back, just kind of talking to you guys about the things that we have found along the way of us testing, some things that we found that Cricut's doing, like trying to market all of this infusible ink for different things, even though it's relatively pretty much the exact same thing. We just like to kind of keep you guys in the know so that you have as much information as possible and to make you super confident, well-rounded crafters. If you guys are brand new, we would love for you to click the very first link in the description below and get access to a free course all about 5 days to master your Cricut. If you are new to the Cricut community and you're looking for inspiration, motivation, and education, Maker's Gonna Learn is here for you. That is what we do best. So click those links down below if you'd like to get plugged in. I will leave links to all of these super cute cut files if you guys are interested in these. And of course, all these products will be linked down below so that you guys can click and buy as you please. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, click subscribe, and click that notification bell to get notified when all of our amazing videos come out. If you have a question, don't forget to leave it in the comments below, and we will see you next time.